Welcome to my early YouTube channel. It's Gretel here, and we're in Corton, Denham, and I'm going to show you what it was like to live in a Somerset village. There are two robins or wrens. I can't tell the difference in their singing. And they're calling to each other. It's robin. There it is, up there. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. Can you see it? And it's singing to a robin on the other side of the road, and I think they're probably saying there's that one of those horrible humans there. Although I think robins like us, don't they? Right, now, can you see how lovely the church is up there? And I'm going to take you up whilst listening to the beautiful robin sound. And as we go up, you can see how old this pathway is to the church. Lovely cobbled pathway, and people say, or it is said, that cobbles are not these. Cobbles are just where they've been cobbled together, so in an unprofessional way, stones cobbled together to make a pathway, whereas these are sets that have been set into place in a more sort of professional way. But these will always be cobbles to people, I think. And I don't think there's any point people getting prissy about what they're called. So this is there's that robin again, three-tiered, lovely church. And I'll video going to the top and leave it with you. Nearly every church in England has one of these. There's blackbird. Hello, blackbird. Hello, blackbird. Have you found a mate yet? Ah, he has. He's just told me he's got the one from last year. Well, that's good. That makes it easier, doesn't it? Ah, apparently she still wants flirting with and chatting up, and you've still got to put the hard work in. Well, that's fair enough. And these church halls, well, a lot of them were built after the end of the First World War. The people were so devastated by losing sons and brothers during the First World War. It hit every village in the whole country, and so memorial crosses and memorial halls were built pretty much in all villages. And every now and then I've gone to a village that hasn't lost anyone. It's very rare. I think it's only happened twice. One in Cornwall and one in Devon. But I guess there are others across the country. But they still have also set them up, and they inscribe the names of the soldiers who fought, even though they didn't die, because they want to show appreciation for their valour and their potential sacrifice. And so memorial halls, when I was growing up in the 1980s, memorial halls were the place that you went to learn ballet. They were the place where Brownie Club would be held, or Scout Club for boys, or Cubs. They were the place where, as children, you would have your Christmas, often have your Christmas play if your school hall wasn't big enough. But also, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, which we didn't, you'd go to the memorial hall to hold your sort of I was about to say sweet 16, but we didn't call it things like that. But your 16th birthday party, and you'd have it in the memorial hall. And it's also where local amateur dramatics would take place. And all churchyards have these magnificent evergreens, and they came before churches, and these yews and all evergreens have been seen as holy trees and connected to holy places since the beginning of time. And it's not surprising, is it? it would seem very natural that in the middle of the winter, when you're looking at the land around you, if you wanted to venerate a certain type of tree, you're going to venerate one that perhaps miraculously, it would seem, still produces foliage, even when all the other trees don't. A bit like the wells that were venerated were the ones that didn't dry up, perhaps, in the summer. They were the wells that were always there, or the other way round, the wells that didn't appear at all until, apart from for 1 month in the middle of the winter. So for all these reasons, things were given holy, they were imbibed with the sense of holiness. And so this is a lovely church, and when I came here before, it was open. So let's see if it's open this time. Let's take you in. This is always the moment I like. It's the pushing in of the door. Is it open? I don't want to... There we go. And this church had to be restored quite heavily because, as I seem to remember, it had a fire. Let me go quietly in case someone's in there. No one's in here. Right. There we are. Actually, no, this isn't the church that had the fire. That's the one in Shepton Montague. So nearly all churches in England have this sort of thing as well. The Sunday school flag, and something like this probably was made not later than the 1970s and probably not earlier than the 1950s, but possibly 40s. I would say that's probably a 1972, that sort of thing. It was made at that sort of time. And there's the belfry, the bell tower, the ropes hanging down. And if I were getting married, I'd be walking down the aisle here and coming to the lovely pointed archway and to find these wonderful stained glass windows at the back. So there's St. Peter with the keys. He's always got more than one, hasn't he? Now, is there something? There's a key to heaven. Is the other one there? No, it's not going to be the key to hell. I'm very ignorant about this. So what's the other key for? Obviously, there's Mary, the nativity scene, and then there's Jesus. Now, what's this scene? This is John baptizing Jesus. And then we look back. And this really is the perfect little village church. A little aisle on the side. But other than that, just simple nave, pews either side, a little door leading to the vestry there. The altar, simple and unfurnished at the moment. And then stone steps, often wooden, but more often stone, leading up to the pulpit. And there we are, that's the view from here. And it became so unfashionable to speak from the pulpit, didn't it? Because you didn't want to be seen to be looking down at your congregation, but I think a pulpit's a good thing and a good traditional thing, and I think people don't feel looked down on. I think if you have a pulpit, use the pulpit. And these tiles are very common in churches. In the Edwardian times, people had tiles like this put into their villas, into their houses, their greater London houses, to pave the hallway, and they look lovely. And often in these side stained glass windows, that's where pictures of local people would be portrayed. And I've often thought that village churches often are more like memorials to people rather than memorials to God and Christ. And sometimes everywhere you look, there's some kind of veneration for local knights or bigwigs or important people at the time. And there's the view from the lovely window. And I think I'll finish by taking you through to the names, which is something I always go to with churches, to see the names of the first rectors or vicars, because often they're very interesting and have good old one name. So who have we got here? 1267. Someone de Montfort. What are the other names that are interesting? Woodcat, Langhorne. We have a Byron here, look, 1852. Augustus Byron. Any other interesting names? Portman, Viscount Portman. I don't know if you've heard of the Portman hunt. Hunting is a real issue of contention probably in this county more than any other county. We had so many hunts here, but now the idea of hunting foxes is seen as really a terrible thing, and people think it's being done for pleasure. And in the course of my life, I've become anti-hunting, but a lot of people have changed their minds about it over the course of the month. And these archways are very nice. And then I'm going to write in the book. Gretel. And I'll leave you with that for this evening.